Good morning, my neighbors. It's Roseville MTB Dad and
My Bike and I.
And we're going to do another gear review for you today. So something we never gave much thought to until fairly recently, and that's bells, right? So we decided to think about bells. Then the question became, well, what kind of bell makes sense for us? And I had a couple of hits and misses, as I often do, until we landed on a really nice product called Spurcycle. And they make a bell that's just exceptional, great quality, great workmanship. It is a manually actuated bell, and but it's sweet, it kicks butt. And we tried another type of bell called the Incredibell that didn't work so well. And figured today we'd just give you a quick look at that, what we didn't like about it, show you the Spurcycle, we'll do an unboxing, we'll go through what comes with, talk about the product a little bit, the pricing, where you can get them, and do a quick install, and that'll be it for the review. So hope you enjoy. Let's get started. Purchase. Okay, so here's what you get in the box. Okay, real nice packaging there. And here's a little interesting tidbit. See the little Frankenstein head there? These are actually called Frankenbells. So these are their original bell, their flagship bell, but they have minor, like virtually invisible surface or defects or imperfections. They don't affect the performance of the bell, they don't affect the warranty in any way, but they offer you significant cost savings over the non-seconds, if you will. So just a quick hit there. There are two basic styles. They have raw, which is just unfinished metal, which look kind of nice, and then black, which is what we got. The regular price on the raw bells is $49, but if you get a Frankenbell, it goes down to $32, quite a savings. On the black bells, $59 is the regular price, and that goes down to $38 for the Frankenbells. Even better, they provide free shipping for orders $75 and above. So if you buy two black Frankenbells, that's just enough to make free shipping. And you can get those on Spurcycle.com. There's also other places you can get them, of course, but that's where we got ours. Okay? All right, so we'll do a quick unboxing now. Very simple, very minimal. So you open the box, and what you have there is the bell and a couple metal straps, and those are what you use to mount the bell to the bike, and we'll go be doing that momentarily. So a quick bit of feedback just to share, to take or leave. When we went to Montana de Oro, they had just generic bells that you could borrow and return when you were done with your ride that looked just very much like little cowbells with a little string. You just tie it on and it rings continuously. And that thought appealed to me because when you don't have a continuously ringing bell, you have to manually actuate it. You know, that's just one more thing you have to think of. You've got muscle memory, you've got to mount it in a place that's ergonomic, etc. So it seemed to me like there is an argument to be made for having some sort of a bell that rings continuously, but then again, having it ring when you don't want it to would just be an extreme annoyance. So the first thing I tried was this here, okay? And this is called an Incredibell, and it mounts on the handlebars. And basically what you got is you've got a bell on a spring and a little lever here. So if I drop the lever, theoretically while I'm riding, the vibrations of riding will ring that bell, but when I don't want it to ring, I can snap that lever up and mute it. Great idea on paper. I did have this on my bike when we rode the Flume Trail recently, and I have to say I wasn't thrilled about its performance, and that the bell wasn't that loud or that effective in getting people's attention. And so I have to say I wasn't thrilled about this. I bought this at my local shop. Didn't get much in the way of feedback from them on whether it was really good or not. It was about 25 bucks. It wasn't cheap, and was not impressed at all with that. So, but it is something that you can consider for that sort of continuous ring application where you don't want to have to be manually actuating the bell each time you ring it. Okay, so that's just a little bit of quick feedback there. Okay, next we're going to go out to the garage and I'm going to mount this bell on one of the bikes, and then you can see the finished product. I'll give it a good ring, and that'll wrap the review. So far so good. Let's do it. That'll be it. I've installed a couple of these already, and they're really, really easy to install. So basically you just take your bell and you take your strap, and on the bottom you can see those two little notches. Okay, so this is going into those notches like so. There is a 2.5, I believe, hex on the top of the bell, and that's how you tighten it. So, all right, so it's in there now. That's pretty simple, right? Now, something I did want to point out. So if you look at my mounted bell, this is my bike. I have enough space between the brake lever clamp and the grip that I can mount it in between them. Yeah? And that's a really nice ergonomic position for me. I just rock it forward. It doesn't interfere with my shifters at all, and I can really reach up and easily actuate the bell. Now for children or our lovely ladies or smaller folks who really don't have enough gap between the clamp and the grip, that's going to limit your options a little bit, and you probably wouldn't want to move the lever or the clamp over for the sake of creating space for the bell. That could affect your braking and your shifting, and that would obviously be a much bigger consideration than the bell, right? So once I have it on, all I'm really doing so as I'm turning this, all it's doing is it's tightening that strap underneath. And you can't see it, but it's getting closer to the handlebar with every turn. I'm getting pretty close to having it be sort of stuck. Now, here's where we want to do our fine tuning, right? So that's about as far in as I can get it. So I just want to do a quick check. Not much interference with my levers there. In fact, I might even be able to get away with rocking it down a little bit for her, just so she can reach and actuate with her thumb in a fairly ergonomic way. All right, so I want to get it in as close as I can and maybe get that lever down just a hair. You can always play around with it. Once you have it in the right spot where you think it's going to work, let's just finish the tightening process. Underneath the bell. And there you have it. You see, it's really that easy, folks. And you end up with something that looks very stylish, very unobtrusive, ergonomically sound, and best of all, when you ring these suckers, they are loud. Neat. It's just that simple. Yeah. Okay, folks, that wraps up our review of the Spurcycle Frankenbell and our brief commentary on other types of bells that you might consider and why we like the Spurcycle so much. So when you're out there on the trails and you've got people in front of you, you can just ring that bell, announce your presence. It makes life easier for you. It makes life easier for the people around you. It's a courteous thing to do, and we feel like we've got to the point where they're a part of our riding approach that we think is responsible. So with that, Roseville MTB Dad,
my biking man,
saying thanks for tuning in, and we will see you next time. Peace.
Peace.